I think one of the beauties of pregnancy is that by the time you get to the end, you are so uncomfortable, you're willing to do whatever it takes to have your baby. And the thought of going through labor and delivery is no longer as scary as it used to be because, like I said, you're willing to do anything to get the baby out. But sometimes your body's resisting and it's taking a long time to get to that labor and delivery process. So what are some things you can do to help your body go into labor naturally? There are a lot of myths out there. First of all, I want to start there. I've heard everything from eating pineapple to walking on a cement curb, trying to do a balancing act. None of those things are going to help. And also some people have said that they drink castor oil and it puts them into labor. I do not recommend this because it can cause issues for you and the baby. So avoid castor oil. So what can you do? There's a couple of things. The first thing that I tell patients after I've sent them home multiple times within a 24 or 48 hour period, past like the 38-week mark, that's when, your baby's lungs should be mature. And if you're having contractions, then bring it on. I always tell my patients, go home and do the same thing that got you into this mess, if you know what I mean. That can help because semen acts as a prostaglandin, which is a hormone that your body naturally secretes to help prep your cervix and body for labor. And also nipple stimulation will cause the release of oxytocin from your brain, which acts on your uterus and tells it to contract. So again, these are things you'd want to avoid if you're before 38 weeks and things that you could try if you're past that point and wanting to have your baby. One other thing is, if you're preterm and start contracting, we worry and we tell you to rest. So once you're past that 38-week mark, if you start having contractions, then do whatever you can to get them to continue and increase in intensity and frequency. And you can try doing this by increasing your activity level. So go for walks. And if you've been exercising during your pregnancy, exercise. And maybe this will help your contractions continue. Now, the frustrating thing is if you have a lot of contractions, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're in labor because the definition of true labor is cervical change. And the only way you can know if you're in labor or not is by going to the hospital and getting your cervix checked. We check you when you first got there, close the door, cross our fingers, tell you to work hard, come back in an hour and see what's happened. And if your cervix has changed, then you're in labor. So I hope that everything goes well for you. And if you have any other questions for me during this process or after you've had your baby, feel free to ask them on our Facebook page and recommend us to your friends and family too.